Hey, how's it going? It's Wobbe from Platinum Intel. The latest games leaving the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium Catalogue has just dropped, and we're breaking down every trophy list, the difficulty, the grind, and whether you can realistically earn the Platinum before they disappear. These games will be leaving PlayStation Plus Catalogue September 19th. Let's dive in. The first game leaving the PlayStation Plus Catalogue is EA Sports UFC 5. Developed by EA Vancouver and released on the 23rd of October 2023. This one's a fighting simulator that aims for realistic mixed martial arts action. You'll be stepping into the octagon with licensed fighters, competing across different modes that mix sports authenticity with high intensity gameplay. On Metacritic, it sits at a 78 for the critic score, but the user score is much lower at 3.4, with most of the criticism aimed at the online balance and microtransactions. Now, let's talk the trophies. The game has 34 in total, and the Platinum is still obtainable. Its difficulty sits at a 4 out of 10, and you'll only need to do about one playthrough, with an estimated time of about 20 hours or so, if things go smoothly. Looking deeper though, there are some sticking points. There's one missable trophy, and unfortunately it's tied to a massive grind. Miss it and you might be forced to restart. There are 2 grindy trophies overall, plus 5 online, and 5 multiplayer trophies. Out of those, one of the multiplayer trophies asks you to prestige a fighter in the online career, which takes a while, and another is widely considered the hardest trophy in the list, becoming champion and then defending your title in either ranked championship or online career. On top of that, there are 3 date-sensitive trophies linked to Fight Week events, which only happen every few weeks, but with those date-locked trophies, the Platinum is a bit of a gamble. So, should you go for it? Personally, I'd say probably not. The reliance on Fight Week event makes the Platinum way too uncertain. There's simply no guarantee another event will pop up before UFC 5 is gone from the PlayStation Plus catalog, and that risk alone makes this one not worth the grind. Next up, we've got the Plucky Squire, developed by All Possible Futures and released on the 17th of September 2024. This one's a platforming puzzle adventure set in a charming fantasy world. You'll be solving puzzles, hopping between 2D and 3D spaces, and uncovering a storybook-inspired journey that mixes cozy vibes with creative gameplay. Reviews were really solid for this title. Critics praised its unique art style and innovative gameplay mechanics, giving it a strong 83 on Metacritic. Players seem to agree for the most part too, with a user score of 7.3. Now, for the trophy list. The Plucky Squire has 21 trophies in total, and yes, the Platinum is still definitely obtainable. The difficulty is a very manageable 2 out of 10, and you'll only need one playthrough to wrap it up if you play on adventure difficulty from the start, which is basically the game's normal mode. Expect it to take around 9 hours or so to finish everything. The only thing to really watch out for is a missable/buggy trophy tied to collecting all the glitch birds. Some players have reported that if the final glitch bird doesn't trigger the trophy, you'll need to restart a brand new save and collect them all again. It's not guaranteed to bug out, but it's something to be mindful of. So, should you go for this Platinum? Absolutely. With one playthrough and around 9 hours required, this is an easy and fun one to knock out before it leaves the catalogue. From the gameplay I've seen, it's got a laid-back, creative puzzle adventure feel, so it's a nice change of pace if you want something more straightforward. Our next game is Night in the Woods, developed by Infinite Fall. It originally launched on the 28th of February 2017 for the PS4, and later came to the PS5 on the 14th of December 2022. This one's an indie adventure platformer with a fantasy twist. You play as May, a college dropout who returns to her hometown, only to find out that something strange is lurking beneath the surface. It's a narrative-heavy game full of quirky characters, heartfelt writing, and some surprisingly dark turns. Critics praised its story, characters, and emotional impact, though some players felt the slower pacing wasn't for everybody. The game was a hit, sitting at 88 on Metacritic with a user score of 7.7. Now, let's get on to the trophies. There are 32 trophies in total, and yes, the Platinum is still obtainable. The difficulty sits at around a 3 out of 10, but here's the catch. You're looking at 4 full playthroughs minimum, and probably more if you're not following a guide. So expect this one to take 20 or more hours if you're going in blind. The biggest challenge here is the number of missable trophies, as there are 25 of them. Almost the entire list is tied to very specific character interactions, story choices, and side activities. Because of that, most guides recommend enjoying going your first run blind to really take in the story, then using a guide on subsequent playthroughs to clean up the missables. There's no DLC to worry about, so it's just the base game here. Should you go for this? That really depends on your patience. If you don't mind multiple playthroughs and you enjoy slower paced, story-driven games, then yes, it's worth it, especially since the game itself is so well loved. Next up on our list is Road 96. Developed by DigiXArt and released on the 16th of August, 2021. This is an adventure game that blends adventure, puzzles, and mystery into a road trip narrative. Each playthrough is procedurally generated, meaning the choices you make and the people you meet shape a very personal journey. It's a game all about escape, freedom, and survival, with some pretty emotional moments along the way. Critics and players both responded well to it. On Metacritic, Road 96 has a 79 critic score and a 7.7 for the user score, with praise for its story and atmosphere. When it comes to the trophies, this one's a pretty chilled list. There are only 12 trophies in total, the platinum is fully obtainable, and it's a 1 out of 10 for the difficulty. You'll only need one playthrough if you plan carefully, and it should take around 8 hours to knock out. The main catch is that there are 6 missable trophies, all tied to specific choices and chapters. If you want to get everything in a single run, you'll definitely want to follow a guide. That said, if you do miss something, it just means going back for another run, which, given the game's replayable structure, isn't the worst thing. So, should you go for the platinum? Yes, absolutely. The story alone makes Road 96 worth playing, and it's one of those games that sticks with you afterwards. Even if you have to do an extra playthrough for the missables, it's still a short and very enjoyable platinum to add to your collection. Next up on the list, we've got Pistol Whip, developed by Cloudhead Games and released on the 7th of November 2019. This one's a VR exclusive rhythm shooter mixing first-person gunplay with music-driven gameplay. Think of it like John Wick meets Beat Saber. You'll be blasting enemies to the beat while dodging bullets and obstacles, all in sync with the soundtrack. Reviews were strong, with a Metacritic score of 83 and a 7.7 user score. Players love the combination of rhythm and shooting mechanics, although, as with most VR games, motion sickness can be a deal breaker. As for the trophies, Pistol Whip has 25 in total. The platinum is fully obtainable, and it sits at around a 6 out of 10 for the difficulty. It'll only take one full playthrough of the game, and it takes about 6 hours to complete. But there are 2 particularly grindy trophies that will demand a little extra time and effort. So, should you go for this platinum? If you've got a PSVR 2, solid stamina, and a decent rhythm, this looks like a really fun and unique platinum to chase. Personally, I'll admit it, I'd probably tap out after a few minutes thanks to motion sickness, but for VR fans, this one's an absolute standout. Our next game is Odinsphere Leifthrasir. Sorry, I probably butchered that. It was developed by Vanillaware and originally released on the 17th of May 2007. This one's an action role-playing fantasy game known for its beautiful, hand-drawn art style and side-scrolling combat. It's a remake of the original Odinsphere, bringing smoother mechanics, rebalanced gameplay, and an updated presentation that makes it feel fresh while keeping the classic Vanillaware charm. Critics loved it. The storybook visuals and the unique combat system are huge highlights, though it can be a bit repetitive over a long playthrough. They gave the game an 87 on Metacritic, while the players scored it an 8.4. Now for the trophies. Odinsphere Leifthrasir has 48 trophies in total. The platinum is fully obtainable, and the difficulty sits at around a 3 out of 10. You'll only need one full playthrough, but it's a long one. Expect 35 or more hours to wrap everything up. There are also 2 grindy trophies in the list, mostly tied to leveling and resource farming, but nothing too extreme compared to other RPGs. So, should you go for the platinum? Yes. If you're into longer RPGs, this is a beautiful, story-rich experience with a fairly easy list, but it does demand a lot of your time. If you're after a laid-back grind with gorgeous visuals and don't mind sinking 30 to 40 hours, this is definitely worth chasing. Next up is F.I.S.T, forged in Shadow Torch. Developed by T Games and released on the 7th of September 2021. This is a 2.5D action platformer with a strong Metroidvania vibe. You play as Rayton, a former resistance fighter who takes up his massive mechanical fists to balance through a diesel-punk city packed with enemies, secrets, and hidden paths. It's all about exploration, combat, and upgrading your abilities as you uncover more of the map. The game reviewed really well. People praised the visuals, combat variety, and the depth of its world, though some found the backtracking a little heavy at times. It scored an 80 from the critics and a 7.6 user score on Metacritic. On the trophy side, F.I.S.T has 44 trophies in total. The Platinum is fully obtainable, and it's not too demanding with a 3 out of 10 difficulty. You'll only need one playthrough, and it should take around 20 hours or more to get everything done. The good news, there are no missable trophies and no buggy trophies to worry about. So, should you go for the Platinum? Absolutely. This is a fun, stylish Metroidvania that's both accessible and rewarding, with no major pitfalls outside of the collectibles. It's a great Platinum to aim for if you enjoy exploration-driven games and don't mind putting in a solid 20 hours. Lastly is Dragon's Crown Pro, developed by Vanillaware and originally released on the 25th of July 2013. This one's a fantasy action RPG with hack and slash elements, set in a medieval world full of dungeons, monsters, and loot. It mixes side-scrolling combat with role-playing progression and a cast of 6 playable classes, each with their own unique playstyle. The game reviewed really well, with an 82 critic score and an 8.3 user score on Metacritic. Critics praised its gorgeous hand-drawn visuals and its addictive combat, though some players found the repetition and grind a bit much. Now, let's talk trophies. Dragon's Crown Pro has a big list with 49 trophies total, and yes, Platinum's fully obtainable here. Its difficulty sits at about a 4 out of 10, but the real challenge here is the time. You're looking at 11 playthroughs and well over 90 hours of gameplay to get it done. The list doesn't have any missables, but there are 2 grindy trophies, along with 3 online/co-op trophies that require multiplayer. On top of that, there are 3 time-limited trophies and 7 tied to different difficulty levels, which is why you'll need to do so many playthroughs. So, do we recommend going for the Platinum? Honestly, it depends on your schedule. If you've got the free time and you're ready to dedicate yourself, it's definitely possible to finish it before it leaves the catalog. But if you're juggling things like work, school, or other commitments, this Platinum will demand your full focus, and it may be more of a marathon than what it's worth. That wraps up the list of games leaving PlayStation Plus catalog for this month. Some of these Platinums are quick and fun, while others will take serious dedication. So if one catches your eye, now is the time to dive in before they're gone. Let us know in the comments which ones you'll be chasing, and if you've already finished any of these Platinums, we'd love to hear how your experience went. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for more trophy list rundowns. We'll see you in the next one.